Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Weeknights. Once again, we're here this week. Uh, I'm JD, aka He Who Pods. Almost forgot to introduce myself. I was just ready to dive right into topics, but yeah,
You
I'm
do that
JD,
sometimes.
aka I do because I just be like, "Let's go." I'm JD, aka He Who Pods. Glasses on today, so also aka Rearview Mirror.
And I'm Dash, aka Dash and D, aka the real king of R&B, aka cool grandma not really, aka fall is coming.
That's your AKA. Fall is coming. It's not AKA hype that fall is coming or something. Just
I
fall
feel
is
like
coming.
fall is coming says it all, no? Does
Okay,
it
you got
not?
it.
Because like it's been hot and I'm just tired of being hot and sweating.
I agree. I hate summer. So listen, totally with you.
Yeah, it's rough.
So yes, it is. But this week is not bad.
No, it's not.
Not
I
bad in New
think
York.
that's why that's my aka today. Because we had a taste of fall today.
Indeed. Um, so there's something really interesting going on in the media space that we've kind of discussed in bits and pieces.
Yeah.
And someone on the internet did a beautiful job of a deep dive. And so I would like to play this video and we can pause it and talk in between if we need to, because it's a little long. But
Whose
this
video
is
is
from
it?
someone named Perfect Union is who posted this video.
Okay.
Um, Let me just make sure it's not a repost or anything. Oh, no, I'm sorry. They are reposting. It is actually a post from KABUR Bank. I don't want to ruin the pronunciation of their name, but that's who did the video. And Perfect Union, I guess, is they're tagged on the post, but whatever. So here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Larry Ellison just became the most powerful man in America because of Daddy's little boy. This is Larry Ellison's son, David. He owns Skydance Media, the company that just merged with Paramount. Larry Ellison's son. Larry Ellison is the guy who owns Oracle Corporation, one of the largest computer software and cloud storage companies in the world that he interestingly founded after working on a major project for the CIA to build a
All right, I got to pause right there. That's pretty clear and pretty gangster.
Yeah.
So, and for those who don't know, you can go follow her. This is not sponsored, but I just thought this was really important to discuss here. She has on the green screen in the background the documents and images of everything she's saying, which I always love as a person watching stuff when I watch stuff online, when they show the evidence in the background or put it on the screen and
Yeah.
it's right there for you to pause and view and research. I always love that. So I just want to give that a quick shout out. Uh, so he was hired to build a database, is what she's about to say.
database that was codenamed Oracle. So that's weird. Ellison's company now provides data storage to OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT. Oracle has a $500 billion partnered investment with OpenAI and SoftBank Group Corporation in 10 gigawatts of AI infrastructure in the United States over the next 4 years. So if we
That's a lot of information. I hope y'all are paying attention. If not, hit the 15-second timer or whatever and rewind this
Run it back.
because you need to let that soak in. Sometimes you got to soak the beans overnight. This is one of those situations.
My mom soaks the beans all the time overnight. That's her thing.
Not the shit in the can, by the way.
No, no. It's the actual beans before they're soft.
But some people don't know what the hell we're talking about. Some people
I know.
only know corn beans.
I know. You're right.
So
That's why.
that's why I
That's
had
why
to
I'm
say
saying it.
not the beans in the can.
No, I'm picking up what you're putting down, man. I'm trying to help you out too because I realize people don't. People probably don't know that
Right.
you can get beans that are not soaked in goo in a can.
Correct.
ask ChatGPT a question, the answer is very likely produced using data stored in Larry Ellison's company's database. In that cloud is data about everything. So Larry Ellison's becoming the AI data guy. He's a big tech billionaire who not only has a ton of power because of his own companies and investments, he has sway now through his sons, too. David Ellison was meeting with the Trump administration to negotiate the huge merger between his company Skydance and Paramount, which also owns CBS. And no, South Park isn't the only show being affected. Notably, Stephen Colbert's show was canceled amidst the negotiations. This is all
which we spoke about. Right. So that's why I said some of these things we also spoke about maybe like a year ago about the possible merger between Skydance and Paramount. So
And
we
Alex,
have been discussing
official.
these things in little bits and pieces.
Mhm.
And she just was like, let me just do all the math for you and show
All of
you
it in
how
one
I did,
post.
and show you how I got my answer, by the way.
Yeah.
And so here's Stephen Colbert as part of her video.
Going away. The FCC voted in late July to approve Paramount's $8.4 billion merger with Skydance Media and transfer all 28 CBS television station licenses to Larry Ellison and his family, because even if David Ellison is Paramount's new chairman and CEO, it's his dad who's footing the bill, alongside the private equity company Redbird, and it's dad who has Trump's ear too. Also, as part of this agreement, David Ellison pledged to abandon all diversity, equity, and inclusion programs at Paramount. This,
which you know is part of a certain person's mandate.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I just want to, you know, she's killing this, by the way. I know this is long for the listeners, but she's killing this, and I just want to just make sure we're all clear on what's happening here.
Mm-hmm.
it's just a ton of power to be in one family.
Facts.
And it puts Larry Ellison in the growing ranks of billionaire big tech execs who own major media companies.
Yes.
While Trump cuts funding for public broadcasting. But I'm sure
Facts.
nothing's going to go wrong giving more power to the guy who once said citizens will be on their best behavior because we are constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on. Or who suggested that the government unify all the national data to be put into a database and feed it to AI. But at least Larry Ellison can now continue to support his passions, like hanging out on his private island and racing his yachts. I'm not even kidding. He owns an island in Hawaii, and he's been heavily involved in yacht racing for decades and has won several major competitions, including the America's Cup twice, as the owner of Oracle Team USA, of course. They're saying Larry Ellison.
All right, it's the end of the video.
Yacht
So,
racing
just
is another
shout-out.
level of rich. Yacht racing. I didn't even know that was a thing.
And then he's won with Team Oracle, by the way.
Yacht
like,
racing.
I'm gonna just keep using the name that's tied to a CIA agency that, you know, whatever. Anyway, I'm not gonna deep dive on that here because that's not what we do on this platform. But this is a major, big Hollywood move, and we come here and report on the latest, the greatest, the shameless of the entertainment industry. This is kind of all of those.
Yeah.
So I just want to say, pay attention, people. Thank you to Kay Banks, I'm going to call her, for doing this post. And that's all I'm going to say here. You can speak and tell your thoughts.
No, I can't.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. We just wanted to let y'all know that. And go do your research. And if you want to find out more, you can give that person a follow. We just wanted to come up here and share that with y'all.
Very interesting stuff.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And in media still, this is from the Hollywood Reporter. I did not make this up, just for those who like to, you know, say that in video. Because every time, like in the comments, I be reading articles and hating ass haters be like, you just want to make shit up. That's not true. No, it's absolutely what someone reported who's not me. What's not true is my opinion after. That's my opinion. That can be argued. But the shit that's written and I'm reading, I didn't make it up.
Well, let's be clear about what you mean. Someone who is a credible source, or who is writing for a credible source, because anyone can report anything. But what you're talking about is when we read, we are very particular about picking our sources here on Weeknights. We do not just read things from random people on the internet who have opinions. We actually go to major publications who have to have journalistic integrity in order to do the jobs they do.
Yeah, we're not just reading from like jdsblog.net. No, like,
No,
and
no,
that's what
we
makes
read
me
from credible
annoyed about that,
sources.
because I'm clearly reading. Like, I'm looking off to the side. You can see I'm reading, and if you look at the glasses, sometimes you can even see the glare of the phone in the glasses. So like, just use your brain and just
I think.
realize I'm not making it up. I'm reading here. And if I was one of those people who use a prompt app, I'd be looking straight into the camera, because the prompt app is usually on the top of the
Mhm.
screen. So just like, they gave us this noggin, this noodle, as they used to say when I was younger. Use the noodle. This
Right.
is from the Hollywood Reporter. The
Hmm.
Hollywood Reporter says Writers Guild aims to organize where work is, YouTube, verticals, and the creator economy. WGA West political candidates are talking about unionizing influencer led companies and vertical dramas. Is the new frontier of labor friendly as Hollywood? As friendly as Hollywood? Question mark. A few decades after being unionized under one umbrella, the labor group expanded its purview by adding animation primetime writers. In 3, 5, or 10 years, could vertical, example, iPhone sized content writers, YouTubers, and other content creators be next? That's the vision presented by multiple candidates for this year's WGA West board and officers election, who are reacting to reduced TV and film hiring, with calls for the union to expand. Quote, "We are sitting on a shrinking iceberg and must be willing to look beyond our current employers." VP Michelle Moroney, who is running unopposed to become the union's president, wrote in her candidate statement. Incumbent board member Adam Conover devoted nearly all of his statement to an organized narrative, focusing especially on the creator economy. Quote, "Like it or not, this is the future of television," he said of YouTube. In all, about half of the candidates in this year's election brought up the need for the union to look beyond film and TV, not just to verticals and YouTube, but also podcasts and video games. In
Okay.
2024, the number of WGA West members reported earnings was down 24.3% compared to 2022, the latest comparable year not interrupted by a strike. The union also disclosed that television writing jobs during 2023-2024 season were down 42% from the year earlier. Last thing here, a quote. "Not only does it make sense for the union to organize, they have to," says Miranda J. Banks, an associate professor at Loyola, probably
Loyola.
Loyola, Marymount University, the author. All right, I don't care what she wrote. It says, "At this point, film and television work has been so squeezed that writers are seeking employment in all sorts of other places and considering different options. And in that process, they are naturally exploring the boundaries of where entertainment writing is going."
I mean, I think you got to move with the times. I think the future is the future. And if the landscape has changed, then you got to roll with it. It's
Yeah,
constantly changing. If not YouTube or whatever, then something else. It's always something else.
totally agree. Totally agree. I think as a union worker, participant, I don't know how to say the right term here, but I know as part of the union I'm in for my 9 to 5, I think about that constantly, where it's like there's these really old archaic rules and different things that are going on, and I'm constantly like, but y'all not up on the other shit? Like, they're not, there's nothing discussing these other things. And so I think constantly, like, unions, part of the job, in my opinion, is, yeah,
Hmm.
you're representing this large body of people, but you also have to think about how that's expanding, one, and two, how you're representing the workers inside of that union. It seems to me like in this article, they're saying they're thinking of both. So they're thinking about the people whose monetary income is decreasing because of TV and film changing, but also they're thinking about how things are expanding and where they need to head next. And so to me, these are two good signs These are the things you want your union to be doing. So to me, I think this is great. I think they're paying attention to the landscape and what's going on, and also thinking about the best interests of the people who are in the union.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. You got to do it.
Yeah, that's my thought. So, right, that one was short. Flying through our topics this pod. I like it. Head to our final topic, which I don't know if we're going to fly through this one. All right, here we go. Last topic. It says here, this is according to Revolt, it says Kendrick Lamar is holding it down as the only rapper nominated for Artist of the Year category at this year's VMAs.
Okay.
Kendrick Lamar is the only rapper nominated for Artist of the Year at this year's VMAs. Now, I
Okay.
wanted to look up the other people nominated,
I
but
was just about
even
to ask.
without looking that up, I think this is really interesting.
It's interesting. I wonder who else should have been. If people think, if there's a point being made that Kendrick is the only rapper, I
Hmm.
also think that's strategy. But who should have been in that category as well? I guess is my question.
So Google says, and then I'm going to find an article to back it up. MTV announces VMAs. Oh, I got it. This is according to CBS. CBS got a list here. Artist of the Year nominees. It also says who they're signed to, and that's really weird. But anyway, Artist of the Year, I guess it's in alphabetical order. Yes, it is. You got Bad Bunny.
Makes
You
sense.
got Beyonce.
Hmm.
You got Kendrick Lamar. You
Okay.
got Lady Gaga. You got Morgan Wallen,
I don't know who that is.
Taylor Swift, and The Weeknd.
Who else was supposed to be in that category? Would you swap anybody in? Because I know the
I don't know.
conversation about is about rappers specifically. A female rapper, maybe.
I just think that I think there are certain awards who do not care about our participation or our inclusivity. Um, I cannot name an artist off the top of my head who should be in there as a rapper.
Hmm.
Um, but I just think that they don't really give a fuck. I think they feel like, hey, we got one, that's enough. And he probably won't win if we're being honest. And so I feel like
Hmm.
it's kind of the token rapper. We're gonna put one of them in there so they can't complain. And I just feel like, okay, I guess, but I mean, I don't know. I have mixed feelings on this because I also don't know what their requirements are for
Fair.
someone to be an artist of the year. So maybe if I had that, I could give more information. Maybe that's something we can revisit because the awards are September 7th, which is around the corner. And so maybe by then we
Yeah.
can look it up and figure out what it is that is their requirements. But in the meantime, I don't know what the requirements are. And so to me, that makes it difficult to have a real opinion here. Just as a person who loves the hip hop culture and is part of it in more than one way, I just feel like they don't give a fuck. So, yeah.
It sounds. It sounds like when you read that list, it sounds like they chose the just the best of the best.
Hmm.
Um, it's like they. I honestly don't know who Morgan Wallen is. I'm sorry, I don't.
Let me look it
But
up.
as far as everyone else goes, and I'm sure that person is a huge star. I'm not familiar. Um, Maybe I know their music and I don't realize.
Oh,
But
it's a guy, first of all. I thought
okay,
it was a woman. It's a guy. Morgan Cole Wallen is a country music star from Sneedville, Tennessee, who first gained recognition on season 6 of The Voice in 2014.
okay,
So that's why we don't know.
I did not know him. Like I said, I'm sure he's a huge star, but that's what it sounds like to me. It doesn't really sound like there was a whole lot of variety in this list, anyway. So I'm hearing the full list. I'm actually not surprised that Kendrick Lamar is the only rapper. I also don't know who I would put there if they were to take
Okay.
someone out and say add another rapper. I don't know, because we're talking about in the past year. I,
Mhm.
I don't know who to put there that would be of the same caliber as the other people in the category, if that is the benchmark. I'm not saying it should be the benchmark. I'm just saying it is. You got Beyonce, The Weeknd, Lady Gaga, Kendrick Lamar is at the tippy top of his game right now and has been for over a year at this point. I don't
So I
know.
pulled. I'm
Hmm?
sorry. Go ahead. No, no,
So I don't.
finish. I'm
I
sorry.
don't know who you put in that category to who's the person. I'm not saying this person doesn't exist. I just can't think of anyone right now who holds a candle to, like, they made it an impossible list if you ask me.
Well, I pulled up last year's list
Okay.
because you talking made me curious. Well, what did last year look like?
Same
Last
people?
year was last year was Sabrina Carpenter, Eminem, SZA, Bad Bunny,
Let me just
Ariana Grande, and
uh-huh.
Taylor Swift. And Taylor Swift won and made history
Yeah.
because it looks like she won back to back.
Well, those other people couldn't win. And that's why I'm saying, like, I honestly feel like the list this year is more balanced than the list last year because it actually gave an opportunity to people who are huge stars, but maybe not as big as the people in this year's in this year's roster. Who else do you put? You're almost setting people up for failure, putting them in that category. It could be looked at a different way. I understand that. It could be looked at as they're up there in the ranks with all of these people who are considered the best of the best. But I'm also like, whenever it comes to the top award at these award shows, it's just kind of like the popularity contest. It's not really ever about, it almost becomes, they almost make it impossible for it to be equitable for most people. So I don't even know, like, honestly, I don't care. Um, I know this is a topic that we had to talk about and should talk about. I agree with that. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about this because I just feel like it's never going to be fair. It's never going to be balanced. It, I don't know. These people could easily
Yeah,
also
to
be
me, this
put
points at
in
the
an artist of the
importance.
decade category. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
they're always going to be, because what you did was you set it up last year to make sure Taylor Swift won. I'm not saying it's rigged. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know that. But what I'm saying is that
Mm-hmm.
list, who was supposed to win that? Also, this year, okay, again, I feel like this year's list is a bit more fair in the sense that Bad Bunny, Beyonce, Taylor Swift, The Weeknd, Kendrick Lamar. Oh, I'm again, I don't know who Morgan Wallen is, but I'm sure is up there. Those would be the only people who could compete with each other for us to be like, okay, I get it. I don't know.
Sure. I just think it makes the to me this points at the importance of us having our awards, right?
Yeah,
Because then we don't have to focus so much on not being included or there
yeah,
not being enough incentive. Instead, we can say like, hey, this is where we recognize each other, and we know the voting system is more about things that we would fall in line with or things that we feel are more fair based on the genre. And so
right.
because even the same thing could be said of Morgan Wallen, right? If he's the only country artist, I don't think Taylor Swift is considered country. I think she's considered pop. So if he's the only country artist, you could say the same thing. Like it's kind of unfair to him, where it's like if he's the only country artist, how's he supposed to win against those monsters? Right? And so I think
They
that's why you
consider
gotta
Taylor
rock with
country.
like, okay. Okay, then if I'm wrong, that's fine. But I'm just saying,
Her,
to me, it points to like why we should do the genre-based awards more so than the overall quote unquote awards, because they seem to be focused on very different things. And I think it becomes unfair because also genre to genre, people don't sell the same genre to genre. Like the average amount of record sales and impact are not the same across all genres, which is why we never heard of Morgan Wallen, right? Like we just not going to hear about that. Not because we don't have our ear to the ground, but because that genre, it doesn't make enough noise today for us to hear about most of the people in the genre. It's not a knock to country music, or it's not saying that country music sucks, but it's like, who's the number one person in jazz right now? I don't fucking know. And I'm probably never going to know because the amount of record sales in jazz and the amount of buzz in jazz is very different than pop. No, I don't listen to Sabrina Carpenter, but I've been hearing about her for a long time because she's a pop
yeah,
artist and she gets a lot of push and gets a lot more record sales than someone else in a smaller, quote unquote, smaller genre. And so I just think that these awards are very seldom apples to apples. And so it's like if you're gonna compare apples to strawberries and mangoes and bananas and grapes, it's like, well, then I don't really know who's the best. Like it's too hard to say the best fruit is because even by sales, you can't access those fruits at every place you go, right? Like every store doesn't
right.
have a mango. So what happens to the mango? It's just like, well, mango could never win fruit of the year because everyone doesn't have access to mangoes. It's like, well, then why? Like, what are we supposed to do? Where's the mango awards? That's what I want to know. Like, and that's what it makes me feel like. How's mango supposed to get any real shine? Then I don't even
Yeah.
like mango. I just felt like that was a proper analogy. I'm not
No,
caping for mangoes. I'm caping for genre-based awards.
no, I got it. I understand. I actually like mangoes, but I was gonna say to your point about country specifically, I feel like country music is a different beast, and the reason I say that is because I feel like the country community is very separate, right, from all the other genres. I feel like they have their own community, like their awards are separate. They're like everything around country is very separate from everything else. We often don't, and I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing for people who are both into country music or make country music, but we often don't have a whole lot of conversations about country music within the conversations we're having about all music. Country kind of gets, or country kind of exists on its own in a way. Again, not saying
Mm-hmm.
it's a good or a bad thing. I just feel like that's how country music is. I feel like the people who are into country know everything about country. The way we know everything that's going on with pop and hip hop and all of those things. And the people who make the music, same thing. Like it's very much like this large, culturally it's very large, and there's a lot of community there that I don't think we're privy to, just because they're kind of off doing their own thing, but it's huge
Yeah.
at the same time. So I don't know, that kind of just, I think honestly in certain spaces people are trying to be more inclusive of country at this point. um I don't know who othered country music, to be honest. I don't know if it was like self-imposed or just, and it's not to say people don't like, I just want to be clear, I'm not saying people don't like country music. I'm just saying it kind of exists adjacent to a lot of other things that are happening with music. Um because again, the CMA Awards, huge, huge. I wouldn't know who was
Yeah.
who or what was what, but I know that it's huge. And I know that the country community is huge on either side of it. So I don't know. I'm always fascinated by that when it comes to country music because I'm like, this is as big as pop, but it's just not on my radar.
Yeah. Hollywood Reporter put out an article about Morgan Wallen and record sales. I found it while you were talking. Um, it says, since when is this article written? July 16th. His latest album, I'm the Problem, was released in May. It has 2.562 million sales, according to his label. And then Scissors SOS, it says, has 1.71. And then it says GNX has 1.7. Bad Bunny's latest album has 1.65. So that kind of paints a picture of the things we were talking about, just to
Yeah.
give some more context there.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, man. I just feel like it's a weird situation. That's it. And I think I agree with what you're saying. Country has its own spot, and I think every genre does. So I just think when you do that, you have a more equitable situation and a better chance of being recognized properly within your genre.
Yeah, agree.
It's almost like the Oscars, and this is the last thing I'll say. It's almost like the Oscars, where it's like, oh, well, this independent film, it has no chance of beating out Christopher Nolan and these other films. It's like, it's how, even if it's a great film, it's very unlikely that it's going to happen. Has it happened before? Yes. I'm just speaking about probabilities and likelihoods. It's the same thing as like the super popular TV show. It's like the super popular TV show is probably going to win over the better quality show
Mm-hmm.
of another genre, because it's kind of like you said, a popularity contest. So
Yeah.
that's my last thought.
Well, this was good. This was a longer pod than I thought it would be. So we got to get out of here.
We
It's
dove in
time.
on that last one. Yeah, we gotta go.
We did. We
Time
did.
to go. Yes, I agree.
But congratulations to Kendrick Lamar for being nominated and all the other artists as well. We didn't say that. Yeah, so
Yes,
we'll see you guys tomorrow.
congratulations.
Yes.
Bye.